How do you expect now businesses from both within the US, businesses outside of the US to now respond, right? I think we've seen over the last few months different strategies being adopted by, let's say, Chinese companies, right? This, I think you've mentioned it as the deck chair rearranging effect also, right? Where China tries to shift production to places like Vietnam, etc. But talk to me, tell us more about how you think businesses are likely to respond. What is the kind of spectrum of strategies that you expect now businesses to adopt in response to these varying levels of tariffs around the world?
Yeah, so the first thing to understand is there will be large gross shifts. So for example, if you're selling something to US customers, if you can, shift that to the United States. Now, for some things like shoes and t-shirts, it's not even close to profitable. But there's certain auto parts, for example, it's better to import them, but it's not so much better that if you can make them here in the United States, you will. But then there's other things, even within the auto sector, where you're selling into a foreign market. You don't want those parts coming into the United States getting a tariff and then being disadvantaged when you sell back into a foreign market. So the things to a foreign market will actually, even if you're doing them in the United States, you might migrate them abroad. And so you'll see these just large shifts even within individual industries. Same thing around the world. And the difficulty for businesses is they don't know what the tariffs are going to be 6 months from now. Getting a little bit clearer than it was a couple months ago, but it's still only a little bit clearer. And so how much do you want to make permanent, irreversible changes to something that itself might change? Probably want to wait a bit and figure all of it out. The last thing I'd say, though, is capitalism in the United States is becoming a little bit more personalistic around a single leader. And so if you can do what you can to curry favor with that leader, you might get a better deal on these tariffs. If you enrage this leader, you might get a worse deal on the tariffs. And so you're seeing both companies and countries, being much more personalistic